Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, what's happening? All right. The market just opened, and we're looking at. I'm mostly focused on Nasdaq for today, though. Mostly focused on Nasdaq. I am looking for a buy this week. My bias on Nasdaq is bullish. I'm expecting the market to go up to that previous high, and yeah, I'm expecting the market to go up to that previous high this week. So let's see. All right, there you go. Okay, so this is Nasdaq. The market just opened. Let's remove this. This is the H4 chart. Okay. Now let's switch to the daily chart. All right, this is the daily chart on Nasdaq. So yeah, this is my outlook. All right, it's loading. Oh yeah. And what about gold? All right, looking at the gold chart, let's say that there is some sort of consolidation here. Let's turn on this supply. No, let's turn on this. Okay. All right. Looking at gold. Let's take a look at gold here. Interesting. I mean, if you look, there is some kind of consolidation happening here. You can see that this top keep rejecting us. We got there. Immediately we broke below this 42, 44. We dropped. Came back to retest that zone. So basically that. Let's get a horizontal line. Horizontal line there. Okay, so that was a support. Immediately we broke above that, below that support. We dropped to the support here. And after that, when we tried to retest, so when we came back up, went back to that zone, that support that we broke below became a resistance. So it resisted the market here. We dropped back down. We came back again, got resisted. And now we've been able to push above it. And now we're back to this previous high here on gold. But the question is, are we going to break above it? I think that's the most important question. All throughout last week, you can see that gold was struggling up there all throughout of last week. So this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All of last week, every time gold got to that previous high, we saw a rejection. So that is what is up on gold. Yeah, and let's go on the H4 and see what could happen. What's happening on the H4? So basically, we're seeing a resistance here at the current price. Let's go on the H4 and see what is happening there on the H4 too. All right, if you go on the H4, all throughout last week, we saw some consolidation. You see that? All of this consolidation. So let's get an horizontal line and put it there, be in the bottom. Let's get another line and put it there, be in the top. So gold has been consolidating between this zone. So what could potentially happen today if we are not able to break above this line? If we test it and we are not able to break above it, we might see gold drop to this low here. So to this low here, and then potentially to this last week's low. That is what could potentially happen. So we want to see how price reacts on this zone. So I'm going to go ahead and put, so above here, above this resistance, we could see a potential buy to the upside. And then I would, if I got in a buy, I would like to have my, I like to swing. If I got in a buy, I would like to have my stop loss on this previous low here, you know, and I would like to target a psychological number, which is 400, and I'll have my stop here if I was to get in a buy. And if price was to drop, if this candle was to drop and drop below this candle that pushed up, so if price was to drop below this candle that pushed up, or if we were to see price drop below this support here, then that would mean that this current buy is not working anymore. So I mean, trading is a business of probabilities, you know. It's a business of probabilities. So if this probability does not play out, then this is what we could see. There. I don't know if it makes sense. So if this market pushes above this resistance, then I'll be looking for a buy. But if this market drops below this support, the one we saw, we see here, let me go ahead and put an horizontal line there so you can also see. So this is a support, a lower low or a higher low. Yeah. So we see that the market after this push here has been trying to stay up. So if it breaks below this support that it has formed here, we could see a drop first to this zone and then potentially to this zone, which is to say we might come back to retest. So this was the resistance that we broke above and pushed up. So if we're not able to continue pushing up, we might drop and retest that resistance. So it would then become resistance turn support. So that is my outlook on gold. And Nasdaq, for the week, I will be bullish on Nasdaq. I will be bullish on Nasdaq. I'm bullish for the week on Nasdaq. I am bullish for the week on Nasdaq. Yeah, I will wait for price to retest. So this is where last week's candle closed. We opened today with a gap. We opened today with a small gap. So I would like to see price come back to retest where the candle closed that last week, and then look for a buy and target this high here. I would like to see something like this. Did you notice what happened here? How the market came to this zone and then pulled up? I'd like to see something like that. I would like to see the market come back to retest this candle and then a push to the upper side. So that is my outlook on Nasdaq. I am not interested in selling it for no reason. I am not interested in selling Nasdaq for no reason. This is the idea. This is my outlook on Nasdaq. I think we're in a consolidation. I did this analysis with my students. So we were in an uptrend. We got here, we resisted, dropped. So this is the Bollinger Band anyways. So we got here to add to the up of the Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band helps you to indicate areas of support and resistance. So we got to this area of resistance here at the upper Bollinger Band. We got rejected. We dropped to the bottom Bollinger Band, which is also an area of support. And if you pay attention, this bottom of the Bollinger Band used to be also a resistance. So it became resistant turn support. So when we got here, got resisted, we dropped, and we dropped to this resistance, which became support. And from there, we went back up, retested this up, pulled back a little bit, and then pushed up. We broke above it, and then we came back, retested that same neck, that same resistance. It became support, and we went back up, then broke below it, went back to retest that same support, that previous support. You see this you see that previous support became a support again, and then we went back up, retested that resistance again, and then dropped. So now we came back down. This became a support, and now what do you think is going to happen? I'm expecting the market to go back up to this resistance. That's my outlook. So for this week, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to buy Nasdaq to go back here to target this zone at 25,800 and potentially see the market go back to previous highs. So my first target would be this place, and my second target would be up here at $26,000 Nasdaq price. Oh, I started the channel. I've launched the channel a long time ago. I've been doing some live. I kind of took some break because I was kind of busy. I just thought I would do some analysis with you guys today. So that is what we're doing right now. Yeah. Do you have HTF setup category in terms of A plus or B scenarios? Oh yeah, you mean higher time frame setups? A setups? Category, higher time frame A setup category, something that I look for in a setup that will make me classify it as a setup. This is what, for example, that I see in Nasdaq. A setups, for example, I like to focus on market's behavior, on the price action. So the way the market has been behaving. So if I identify a pair that is moving in a certain way, so this pair has been behaving in a certain way, and I see it set up in a way that I think is going to behave the same way it's been behaving, that is already an A plus. That's one reason for me to want to take that setup. For example, in the case of Nasdaq, we can see it's been behaving like this, comes back to touch this bottom, goes back up, comes back to touch it, goes back up, and this time it has made a lower high. It has came down here, and unlike before, it didn't come back to test this zone, but made a lower, a higher low. Sorry, I was looking for that word. Made a higher low, So now that it made a higher low, we can see these two sharp candles, two really sharp candles, mostly the way the candle from last week closed. I am convinced, you know, that it's going to push up back to this previous high, and then a potential move. So for the week, I am expecting Nasdaq to go back to this high or to that previous higher time frame, a higher resistance. Oh, so yeah, this week, honestly, if you ask me between Nasdaq and gold, I think I get your question. I think I got your point. Between Nasdaq and gold, which pair I would be interested in trading? Honestly, based on their setup, based on the way they're positioned, I would definitely pick Nasdaq. I would definitely pick Nasdaq. Because if you pay attention to what happened here last week, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The whole of last week, there was an indecision in the market on Nasdaq. You see, the market started with a buy, came back down, and closed with an indecision candle. You see, that red indecision candle. And then the next day was a strong buy, went above the previous day. And then the other day was a strong buy, came back and closed with an indecision. So basically, there's a lot of struggle here. It seems like sellers are trying to get in on this trade, you know, but the buyers are fighting it. So if you asked me, this looks too, you know, unpredicted. If you go to the H4, it's a mess. You know, it's a mess on the H4. You see, if you go on the H4, it's literally a consolidation. We're moving between this range. So for this reason, I will be less interested in trading gold, and I will be more interested in trading Nasdaq, you know, because Nasdaq last week you could see that there was, you know, clean moves, you know. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There was a clean move. Monday was a buy, Tuesday was a buy, Wednesday was a big buy, Thursday was a little bit of indecision, you know, but Friday, boom, was a buy. So for this reason, I would choose Nasdaq, clean buys, you know. So, and if you noticed, we were in some kind of move to the downside, and now we pushed up. So that was a support that broke, that we dropped, and now we closed above that support. So potentially this week we can push above it on the H4. You see that? So for that reason, and the way Nasdaq is set up, I would definitely choose Nasdaq over gold for this week. I don't know if I answered your question.